The Nightingale and the Rose. Welcome to the study of a beautiful short story by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde is a poet, playwright, and novelist who lived more than 100 years back. He was born in Dublin, the capital of the Republic of Ireland. His best known works include Lady Windermere's Fan, The Importance of Being Earnest, The Ballad of Reading Gaul, De Profundis, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and a number of short stories, many of which appear in the collection The Happy Prince and Other Tales. The Nightingale and the Rose is a story from this collection. Characters in the story include the student, the nightingale, the professor's daughter, a few animals, 3 rose trees, and the oak tree. When the story opens, we see a young man introduced to us as the student. He has read many books by wise men and he knows the secrets of philosophy. But today he is sad. He is in love with a girl. They were supposed to be together the next day for a ball, a dance party given by the prince. But she had asked him to bring her some red roses. At that time of the year, the student is unable to bring in any rose flower. He imagines the music and dance they all will have the next day. But his lady love will not dance with him, for he has no red rose to give her. Living nearby, with its nest in the home oak tree, was a nightingale, a bird who could sing melodiously, especially at night. She was listening to this sad story of the student. She used to sing of true love, but now she has found someone who is a true lover. He looks charming, but his face is pale, and sorrow has set her seal on his brow. Those around, such as a green lizard, a butterfly, and a daisy, wonder why the student is weeping. They are surprised when the nightingale tells them that it is for a red rose. The nightingale alone realizes the pain. As Oscar Wilde tells us, but the nightingale understood the secret of the student's sorrow, and she sat silent in the oak tree and thought of the mystery of love. The nightingale takes a decision to help the student in any way possible. She flew to a rose tree in the center of a grass plot and asked for a red rose. But the rose tree was not able to help her, as it has only white roses. The tree asks the nightingale to go to another rose tree near the old sundial. The nightingale approaches this rose tree. But this tree also was not able to help, as its roses were yellow. The tree told the nightingale to go to the tree that grows beneath the student's window. The nightingale now approaches this third rose tree. Its roses were red, but since it is winter, it didn't have any roses. Listen to the words of this tree. But the winter has chilled my veins, and the frost has nipped my buds, and the storm has broken my branches, and I shall have no roses at all this year. One red rose is all I want, cried the nightingale. Realizing that the bird's desire is very deep, the tree tells her that there is a solution. The nightingale must sing to it a song all night, with her breast against a thorn. The thorn must pierce her heart, and her life blood must flow into the tree's veins. This will bring out a red rose. The nightingale says, death is a great price to pay for a red rose. Yet love is better than life. And what is the heart of a bird compared to the heart of a man? Happy that she will be able to help, the nightingale flies to the student and tells him that he will have his red rose. All she wants in return is that the student should be a true lover. The student listened to the bird but was not able to understand what the nightingale was saying to him. He only knew the things that were written down in books. The oak tree where the bird lived understood what was going to happen and felt sad. It asked the bird to sing one last song, for it will be lonely when the bird is gone. The student too heard this song but was not able to appreciate it. Oscar Wilde cleverly shows us the failure of the student to understand real love and sacrifice through the comments the student make about the bird and her song. When the moon shone in the heavens, the nightingale flew to the red rose and set her breast against the thorn. All night long she sang. Her first song was about the birth of love in the heart of a boy and a girl. This brought out a rose flower on the top of the tree, but it was pale in color. Secondly, she sang of the birth of passion in the soul of a man and a maid. This brought a pink shade to the rose. The third song was of love perfected by death, of the love that dies not in the tomb. With this, the rose becomes crimson. At the last burst of music, the red rose opened its petals. "Look, look," cried the tree, "the rose is finished now." But the nightingale made no answer, for she was lying dead in the long grass with a thorn in her heart. At noon, the student opened his window. He saw the red rose and felt lucky. Being a person who studies a lot, he thinks of the scientific name of the flower before plucking it out. With the rose in his hand, he goes out to the professor's house, for his lady love was the professor's daughter. He saw her sitting in the doorway and offered the flower, reminding her of the promise to dance with him if he brought her a red rose. But the girl frowned. She tells the student that she is interested in the chamberlain's nephew, who has sent her real jewels, which cost far more than flowers. Hearing this, the student calls her ungrateful. He threw the flower into the street. The student walks away. He feels that love is a silly thing. It is unpractical. So he decides to go back to his studies.